Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. So yeah, this one is, as you can see in front of me, are the three Ultras: Xiaomi 15 Ultra, Oppo Find X8 Ultra, Vivo X200 Ultra. So this is order of, got this in March, April, and early May. At the moment, when it comes down to Ultra phones, these are probably the, not even Ultra phones, just phones in general. And some people call it candy bar phones, are probably the best phones on the market at the moment for performance, build quality, everything. All of them have the latest Snapdragon. So technically speaking, inside here are more or less the same. They're all 12 gigs of RAM and 256 storage models. They all got, the main focus of these devices are the camera. So it comes down to, that's what for me personally anyway, that's one of the reasons why I tend to buy like a lot of phones, because first, I love technology. I'm a gadget freak. I'm a phone enthusiast, just a technology person. So I tend to buy things like that. And I get bored quite easy. So after 6 or 7 months, maybe even earlier, I get bored. I want to see what the next thing is. So I tend to buy these kind of things. I don't play games, so word of warning, there won't be no gaming tests. But do keep this in mind. These are the latest Snapdragon. They will play anything. Have no doubt about that. Oh, one more thing. I've got a new case that came the other day. This is for my Vivo. It's pretty cool, isn't it? From Despicable Me, the Minions. Okay, let's talk about price. I'm just focusing basically on the Chinese version, the Chinese ROM. I bought these two on Wonder Mobile. I'll leave the link below. This one I purchased in China. So this one's cheapest because I purchased in China, of course. It was about £100 cheaper than import. But even then, this is still probably cheapest on Wonder Mobile at the moment than this and that. They're probably about £30 to £40 different in price overall. It's still going to be 800, and this one's probably 850, 820, probably 800 at the moment. And like I said, this is all focused. My verdict is just my personal opinion, my personal preferences, what I like to do with it. I'm a bit of an amateur photographer myself. As the main focus I do is to buy phones that are focused with cameras. So price wise, like I said, 50, 60 pounds in between them, right? Then it comes down to design and build quality. I can tell you that build, all good. I mean, if you watch my unboxing of things like the Nothing phones, when you pick them up, you know they were mid-range to budget phones. Don't get me wrong, they're still good phones, but with these phones, you know when you pick them up, you are holding a flagship. Also, you can hear that. They all rattle. That's a good thing, because these are the optical stabilizers inside. Build quality, really the same again. But as in saying that, when it comes down to holding it, I would say the Xiaomi is my least favorite, only by a little bit, because this one's the smallest one. It's a 6.73 inches, where these two are 8.2 inches. And considering the size of the phone island, I mean the camera island, probably the biggest, the Xiaomi just edges it by the biggest. So my hands are quite small. So you've got your finger rest here, of course, and you hold it. Even for someone with pretty small hands myself, you know, I want it to have a bit more grip to it, because when you hold it, you got this bit here coming out. It feels a bit, so that is only a slight problem. Not much difference after that. When it comes down to it, I would say the best grip is definitely, just by a little bit, is the Oppo, because it has the smallest camera island. So therefore, I can get my full hand. You can see there's nothing coming out, so I can get a good grip. Vivo, probably second, because I can still get a good grip, but the Oppo, just for me personally, I get a good grip. Design wise, okay, design is subjective, very subjective. Me personally, when it comes down to camera islands, this is an Ultra. Like I said in my previous videos, where if you're gonna go full on, you know. And that's why I think that. So I'm going to put these away. I think it comes down to the Xiaomi and Vivo. I would say they're both very neck and neck. So I like the color options on the Vivo. I'm not a vegan leather fan or nothing like that, right? But already you can see you can get fingerprints on that. Okay, this one, I love this material. It's really shiny. The white one, pretty good, pretty bland overall. So if the Vivo had this red color but in this texture, okay, I'll definitely go with that. Camera islands are very similar in size. I don't, a lot being said about how big this bump is. So if it was almost like what Xiaomi did, you can see that they try to blend it, kind of morph it into the back. I think this would be so. Just as a glance, I'll put these two neck and neck. Two of my favorite design wise. The same overall, because this one has a better feel. This one has a better color. Camera, I like this kind of blended in, but the camera here, I like the placements better. There you go. So evenly matched. Comes down to, so these two evenly matched design wise. And then Oppo, like I said, design is very subjective, so there's no right or wrong answer really. Then afterwards it comes to OS. Without the OS, the phone won't function. So do bear in mind, these are all Android of course, but they're all running on the Chinese OS. Okay, so Origin OS for Vivo, Color OS, and Hyper OS. Okay. I think the global version is called Fun Touch, Oppo Oxygen, and the same as that one. So my favorite one is Origin OS, only by a little bit though. It's just the nuances, the customization, the small things like this. I do like this, and in a way it's good because when I got the Vivo X200 Pro, it didn't allow me to. I usually put Nova Launcher on, it didn't allow me to, and in one of the comments someone wrote down you have to create an account for that, which I couldn't be bothered creating an account, and because of that Nova Launcher didn't work, so I just kind of forced to use Origin OS, which I'm glad because it made me appreciate and like Origin OS. Is actually one of my favorite OS out there. Color OS is second best. I like it. It's good. Nothing good, nothing bad, nothing amazing. The customization just lacks a slightly thing. So this is what you call a regular OS that does its job. Nothing special, nothing unique about that. And then HyperOS is good, but it's not my favorite. So, and this one, I actually changed it to Nova Launcher because I just like the simplicity of Nova Launcher. But I did use HyperOS for a little bit, but I kind of swapped back and forth really. So that's the OS, okay? Performance wise, I actually did whoops. Just get rid of, hope you like my that's one reason why I like to keep so much on my home screen free up, is I can actually have a cool wallpaper. I change wallpapers every few weeks. So what I did was I did a benchmark on all of them once I get them up. Wolverine, I got Batman, Wolverine, two of my favorite comic characters. So I'll just do a side by side Geekbench. Then you got the ultimate force of nature, Godzilla. Alright then, so you can see here, Oppo seemed to be the highest overall. And then it was Vivo, and then Xiaomi in the processor, single core. Well, kind of tells you right there. Okay, what we'll do is go into GPU. Again, This one's a lot more closer. Vivo comes out on top, and then Xiaomi, then Oppo. But this is just on paper, if you want to so to be. Realistically speaking, if one is faster, there's literally not much difference. Again, there's not much difference. I mean, what my daily use, I have not seen any slowdown, nothing like that. Everything just works like a breeze. So I have no complaints there. Gaming wise, like I said, you might get I can't tell much difference. I mean, I don't play games, but judging by a lot of YouTube videos out there, they all play games at top notch. No problem about that. So then it comes down to photography. If you check out my last few videos, I did the Xiaomi versus this, that, then vice versa, back and forth. I did quite a lot of them. And some of the videos are 25, 26, 27, 28 minutes long. I went in a bit more detail. I zoomed in a lot. I tried to match the focal lens to lens, different settings, filters to filters. I tried to match it as close as I can. You know, when you think in your mind, oh, Xiaomi might be worse off than this, or Oppo worse off this, when you do a side by side, you start to realize it's a lot closer than you realize, you know. And you know, you get fans out there who say they prefer this. It's the same thing. I think that photography is an art form. It comes down to the preference again. The way I like to shoot photos, this is just me, okay? So like I said, if you pick any of these, I'll give you a thumbs up, because they're the best phones on the market at the moment for performance, everything, build quality, design, camera, especially camera. There's nothing on the market that comes close to this, really. Okay, I can't really say because I don't have a Samsung or Apple, so I'm just from the things I've used. Okay, so if you pick this, I give you a thumbs up. Just for me personally, I would go with the Vivo, because I like the more natural. And I did all the tests. I still think Vivo maintains more accurate colors to me, and also it has a lot more options, so I can always find a setting that suits me. It has a lot of settings, a lot of filters, and so on. But if you're like just someone who enjoys photography, I don't really care too much about options, you just want a good picture, these two, they have enough options and really good cameras. So whichever you want, like I said, thumbs up for me if you get any of them. Hope that makes sense. But the only kind of slight frustration sometimes with the Vivo is the AI sometimes that overdoes it for you. But that's fine. But with the options and the filters and the menu function, it kind of compensates for that. And to be fair, even though the AI sometimes does this, you really only notice when you really zoom in, you know. So just for people like me, you will notice. But if you show it to, say, a regular person, straight away they probably couldn't tell the difference. Just little small things like that. But that's just me personally. So probably when you watch this video, you probably knew that I was going to say Vivo is my favorite one, and you'll be right. This is my favorite one overall. When you take into account of the design, build quality, you know, the camera placements, the camera itself, the options, all of that. So this one is my overall favorite. Like I said, it is just very, very, very minor. My favorite one, very, very minor. And I wouldn't fault anyone if they pick a Xiaomi or they pick Oppo, because they're all amazing phones. But it's the same at the moment. I'm going for the Vivo, just like last year. I went for the Vivo Pro. Speaking about that, check out my video uploaded earlier on. Was actually the Vivo versus Vivo, Pro versus Ultra. Check that out. It's a lot closer than you think it is. So that's my favorite overall, because like I said, Origin OS is my favorite one. The build quality, the camera quality fits me personally, my artistic style. I prefer this overall, like I said. But like I said, any of these phones will be top notch for anyone here. So yeah, that is just my 2 cents on 3 of the best phones on the market at the moment, and any one of them will be top. Anyway, I'd like to say thank you to anyone watching this, and let me know which one would you buy, which one is your favorite, and why, that'd be great to know as well. Yeah, until next time, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, wherever you're in the world. Please do stay safe. Please like and subscribe, all that cool stuff. Thank you. Goodbye now.